Readers mic check 1 2, check 1 2. Readers mic check 1 2. Check check check. Check check check. Check check check.
House will come to order. Without objection, members' guests will be granted privileges of the House floor. Hearing none, so ordered. Attendance and roll call will be taken at the bell. Please register. Prayer today by Reverend Cannon, guest of Representative Jennifer Pollock. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Rachel Jones. House and gallery, please join.
Let us take a moment to breathe together, friends, to ready our hearts and minds for the work to be done today. Creator of all, we come before you with deep humility, knowing that you have designed a world of complexity and nuance that we will never fully comprehend and that we do not control. For you, not we, are the creator. We are your creations, placed here by you to use our brief time on this fragile earth to love and serve one another, to be makers of peace to the best of our abilities. We pray for your blessing today upon all the people who serve in this house. Give them a renewed sense of awe and gratitude that they have been tasked with the care of all Arizonans. Help them to respect, seek, and serve the inherent value within every single person they represent. We pray for your blessing upon those in this chamber today who are worried, frightened, angry, and uncertain, and particularly upon those who feel they have lost a sense of common purpose or community with their neighbors or fellow citizens. We pray for all who are hurting in our state, for those who are struggling and suffering, and especially for those who feel abandoned, neglected, or frightened. We ask for your mercy and grace upon all who are hurting, and we ask you to show us how best to express your love to them. We pray for your wisdom to guide these elected leaders here today, that as they confront the challenges of governing, they will strive for laws and policies that honor the divinely given dignity of every Arizonan. We ask you, Creator, to help us come together. You have shown us that we are better in community than separate, better when all are free than when we are controlled, and better when we center our common humanity rather than our differences. Help our leaders here today discern and then create the ties that bind us in mutual well-being and safety. Give them boldness to make Arizona a good home for us all. We ask all these things in the spirit of love and hope, and in the name of all that is holy. Amen.
Members and guests in the gallery, please join me in saying our wonderful Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Without objection, the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 is dispensed with and approved as written. Doctor of the Day, Dr. Catherine Glaser, District 7. Representative Cook.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Introducing the Doctor of the Day. Catherine, you up there? Catherine Glaser. Catherine Glaser went to the University of Arizona, where she did both her medical education and her residency from. She's a native, having grown up in Maryville, and now is working up in northern Arizona, living in Flagstaff, serving Tuba City. And thank you for being here today, Catherine.
Welcome to the House. Members, please continue to register. We'll get to introduction of guests momentarily. Representative Pollock will be first. We're just going to do a quick sound reset because we have one minor issue, so bear with me. 30 seconds. Please register. Can you hear me now? Have you all registered? Members, Representative Pollock, would you like to introduce your guest on the floor?
Yes, please.
Please proceed.
I rise for a point of personal privilege, introduction of a guest on the floor.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Members and guests, it is my pleasure to introduce the Reverend Canon Erica Von Haren, the priest in charge at Trinity Episcopal Cathedral in Phoenix. Mother Erica has been an ordained priest for 18 years and has served in Scottsdale, Gilbert, Paradise Valley, and now downtown. She is also a leadership coach for clergy, parishes, and others who seek to lead from their values. She's a certified facilitator of the Shame Resilience curriculum of Dr. Brené Brown, mother to 3 public school children, and an active member of the local LGBTQ+ community. Welcome to the House.
Welcome to the House. Thank you for your prayer today. Guest introductions only. Representative Villegas.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I rise to introduce guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
I want to introduce Charlene Mendoza from Tucson, the city of Tucson. She is a chief of staff for Mayor Romero. Welcome to the House.
Welcome to the House. Now that's how it's done. That was like 15 seconds. I like it. Representative Gutierrez, you got to beat that.
I have 4 people, but I'll be quick.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you,
Please
Mr.
proceed.
Speaker Pro Tem. I rise for introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Today I have 4 folks that drove up from Tucson. You can stand. I have Sarah Roberts, Tina Kilcullen, Mita Coron, and Roland Baker. They're from Tucson Women's March, Arizona Abortion Access Women's Rights, and Arizona for Reproductive Freedom. Thank you so much. Welcome to your house. Thanks for being here.
Welcome to the House. Representative Willoughby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Temp. I rise for a point of personal privilege, introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
In the gallery today, I have some of my lovely ladies from Chandler, the Chandler Republican Women's Club, and the Arizona Federation of Republican Women. Thank you so much for being here today and supporting us.
Welcome to the House. Mr. Wilmoth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise to a point of personal privilege, introduction of a very special guest on the floor.
Please proceed.
Thank you very much, sir. If anybody knows me at any level, they know that I have an affinity for my second favorite country, Australia. I've been there twice in 2015 and 2018. I picked up this kangaroo tie there a few years ago. So it's my extreme honor to introduce Ms. Tanya Bennett. She was appointed to the Australian General Consulate of Los Angeles in December of 2023. She is a senior career officer with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade and was most recently Assistant Secretary of the First Nations Task Force. Ms. Bennett has previously served overseas in Japan at Australia's permanent mission to the United Nations in Geneva. In Canberra, Ms. Bennett served as Assistant Secretary of the Communications Branch and as lead negotiator on the Free Trade Agreement with the European Union. Ms. Bennett holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from Queensland University and a Master of Foreign Affairs and Trade degree from Monash University. She is married with 2 children, and Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, it would be okay if she said a couple of words for 10 seconds?
I can grant that permission as long as she doesn't give a floor speech.
Fair enough. Counsel General, thank you.
He put you to 10 seconds.
Speaker, thank you very much. I'm honoured to be here today. The United States is our closest security ally and closest economic partner. I'm excited to be expanding our trade and investment links here in Arizona. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the House. Representative Cruz.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I rise for a point of personal privilege to introduce guests in the gallery. I have 2 separate groups, but I'll be quick.
Please proceed.
I'd first like to introduce the Greater Phoenix Urban League Young Professionals Group and their president, Ashley Anderson. Thank you so much for being here. And I also like to introduce the Arizona Young Democrats and the Maricopa County Young Democrats and their president, Ricardo Serna. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all both groups do to educate our young adults in civic engagement. Thank you, and welcome to your house.
Welcome to the House. Representative Sandoval.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I rise for point of personal privilege, introduction of a guest.
Please proceed.
I want to welcome Brianna Blair and Shreya Tumala with Voters of Tomorrow, who are here today in the gallery. Welcome to the House, ladies.
Welcome to the House. Representative Schriebert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise for introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize my dear friends and strong advocates for LD2 Dem values, Janet Wilson, please stand, and Doug Irvin. Thank you so much for being here today.
Welcome to the House. Whip Martinez.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I rise for a point of personal privilege, introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
Members, I have not 1 but 2 very long time friends, 20 years plus in the gallery here to support us, Miss Linda Rizzo and Miss Diane Ortiz Parsons. Ladies, if you guys would stand and just say hello, welcome to your house.
Representative Colladin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise for a point of personal privilege. Introduction to guests.
Please proceed.
With us here today, we are honored with the presence of the board of Arizona Right to Life, Kim Scogan, Christine Ogden-Cothran, Pat Moore, Deb Cheatham, Katrina White, and Ashley Trussell. Thank you for being here.
Welcome to the House. Members, and guests who we cherish having here, this would be a very good time to remind everybody there are posted rules in the chamber. They are to your left and to your right in the gallery. I expect the gallery to behave as well as I expect the members of this body to behave. Members, we're going to get through some regular business today. I would ask that you bear with us. I would ask that our gallery bear with us. And please be respectful of the rules of this chamber. Assistant Minority Leader De Los Santos, we have a new member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise to a point of personal privilege. Introduction of a new member. Members and the public. Thank you. Members and the public, please give a warm welcome to my seatmate, our new representative, Janelle Cavero. Janelle is a Representative Cavero is a longtime advocate for democratic causes and progressive causes, a child of immigrants, a fighter for the working class, somebody who has stood up for diversity in this state. Representative Cavero, welcome.
Welcome to the House. Representative Gillette.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for point of personal privilege, introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
I'd like to welcome David Rose and Turning Point Church. Thanks for being here today. Please stand up, guys. They drove all the way from Havasu to come see this today, and thank you for being here.
Welcome to the House. Mr. Carter.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tempore, I rise for point of personal privilege, introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
Members, we have joining us today Pastor Ben Lee from Living Waters Bible Church in the gallery, also District 15 resident. We also have Precinct Committee man Peter Anello joining us. We're very pleased. Peter Anello joining us in House Hearing Room 3, the overflow room. Also Precinct Committee person Nancy Wilming and Charmin Pullman, who's here in the gallery and in House Hearing Room 3. And finally, we have Ed Steele and Adrienne Johnson, who are pro-life grassroots leaders, joining us as well in the gallery. So welcome to all of them. Thank you for coming to the House.
Welcome to the House. Members, it was brought to my attention we also have a former member of the chamber on the floor, Representative John Laredo. Hold your hand up, wave. Welcome back to the House. Sure you don't want to come back? All right, all right. And we have a former member in Rebecca Rios here today as well. Hello. Representative Jackie Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise for a point of personal privilege to introduce guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
I'd like to introduce Mara Rodriguez. She is a former Planned Parenthood employee and is now a pro-life advocate.
Welcome to the House. Representative Barbara Parker.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I rise for a point of personal privilege. I can't see everybody in the gallery, so if you are one of my...
Are you going to introduce guests?
Yes, I'm introducing...
You have 1 minute. Please
guests
proceed.
in the gallery. If you're one of my PCs and one of our pro-life faith-based people that hasn't stood yet, please stand. Woo! Thank you.
But it's all... Welcome to the House. Representative P. Contreras.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise for a point of personal privilege, introduction of guests in the gallery.
Please proceed.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Ada Martin from Planned Parenthood Advocates of Arizona. Ada Martin, please stand. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the House. Clerk, please record the attendance. 59 present, 1 absent. No vacancies. Wow. Members, we're going to have a proclamation on Sexual Assault Awareness Month to be read by the clerk. This is sponsored by Representative Laura Tarrick. Take it away, Steve.
State of Arizona Legislative Proclamation, Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas Arizona shares a critical concern for survivors of sexual violence and a desire to support their needs for healing. And whereas sexual violence is a widespread, preventable public health problem in Arizona and is any sexual act inflicted onto someone else against that person's will, or when that person is not able to consent or refuse the act, which includes sexual assault, rape, unwanted touching, threatened sexual violence, exhibitionism, and verbal sexual harassment. And whereas in the United States of America, a person is sexually assaulted every 98 seconds, and in 2023, the Arizona Department of Public Safety reported a total of 1,805 sexual assault kits were received in Arizona. And whereas in 2022, the United States Criminal Justice Information Services Division reported that 3,405 rapes were reported to law enforcement in Arizona. And whereas in 2020, the United States Department of Justice estimated that only 42% of sexual assaults are reported to law enforcement. And whereas there are service providers across the state of Arizona who seek to support survivors in their healing from the life-altering effects of sexual violence. And whereas it is understood that by centering the voices and needs of those impacted by sexual violence, the House of Representatives is showing support for the survivors of sexual assault. And whereas the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence is a statewide organization and a coalition network of independent sexual and domestic violence programs in communities across the state, working with partners to prevent and eliminate sexual and domestic violence. Therefore, Representative Laura Tarek invites the members of the Arizona House of Representatives to join her in proclaiming April 2024 Sexual Assault Awareness Month, dated the 17th day of April 2024. Representative Laura Tarek, Legislative District Number 4.
Representative Tarek.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise to a point of personal privilege, recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and introduction of guests in the gallery. Please proceed. Today, we stand in community and in support of survivors of sexual assault. The numbers you've heard are not merely statistics. They represent our neighbors, our friends, our family members, ourselves. These are real lives, and the trauma they've endured should not be forgotten or overlooked. Sexual Assault Awareness Month provides us with an opportunity to raise our voices in solidarity and recommit ourselves to the fight against sexual violence. Let us lead with empathy and compassion as we amplify the voices of survivors. However, each one of us also has the power to make a difference. Let's hold perpetrators accountable for their actions, and let us work together to ensure that survivors have access to the support and the resources they need. I'm proud to be joined by representatives from the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence, an organization dedicated to addressing sexual and domestic violence. They offer education and training, technical assistance, public policy advocacy, collaboration, and they also maintain the Arizona Sexual and Domestic Violence Helpline. I'm also proud to be joined by a constituent, Sherry Brown, please rise. Someone who, over the course of our work together, I am also proud to call friend. After a devastating sexual assault occurred in a hospital, Sherry has turned personal pain into power and purpose. This year, she championed HB 2817, which would guarantee stronger protections for survivors of sexual assault, ensuring that all options are available to them to report an assault. Sherry, you are an inspiration to me and to survivors everywhere. Thank you for your bravery, your tenacity, and your determination. We will fight on. Welcome to the House.
Welcome to the House. Thank you, Representative Tarek. Bills and other business from the Senate. Oh, you know, I have to introduce a guest. Former Representative Jill Norgaard is in the overflow, and she was one of the most outstanding, wonderful people to work with. I miss her dearly. I hope she's doing well. Jill, welcome back to your house. Bills and other business from the Senate without objection. The following messages from the Senate as listed on the calendar will not be read and will be entered into the journal. The clerk will record the action of the Senate and convey the unamended bills to the governor. Business on the Speaker's desk. Communications from the governor. Without objection, the following communications from the governor as listed on the calendar will not be read and will be entered in the journal. The clerk will record the action of the governor. Business on the Speaker's desk. I wish to announce Representative Martinez has replaced Representative Diaz on the Free Conference Committee on House Bill 2325 for Thursday, April 11th, 2024. Here's everybody's favorite. Business on the Speaker's desk. Pursuant to House Rule 2, I hereby authorize extension of the second regular session of the 56th Legislature for a period not to exceed 7 additional days beyond the time for adjournment specified by Rule 2. Hearing none, so ordered. Mr. Toma, Speaker Toma, business on the Speaker's desk. Page 4, please.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I move that in compliance with Article 4, Part 2, Section 9 of the Constitution of Arizona, the House of Representatives of the 56th Legislature, second regular session, requests the consent of the Senate to adjourn after it has completed its labors today, Wednesday, April 17th, 2024, until April 24th, 2024.
You've heard the motion. All in favor vote aye. All opposed vote no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Clerk's instructed to record the action of the House. Notify the Senate. Mr. Speaker, again, page 5, please.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, notwithstanding House Rule 23A, I move that the House extend its action of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, whereby it passed the motion to reconsider its third reading action on Senate Bill 1026 within 14 days, and that the time for reconsideration be further extended.
You've heard the motion. All in favor vote aye. All opposed vote no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Clerk is instructed to record the action of the House. Madam Whip, you are up. Page 5.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, notwithstanding the House Rule 23A, I move that the House extend its action on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, whereby it passed the motion to reconsider its third reading action on SB 1731 within 14 days, and that the time of the reconsideration be further extended.
All in favor vote aye. All opposed vote no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Representative Colladin, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Notwithstanding House Rule 23A, I move that the House extend its action of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, whereby it passed the motion to reconsider its third reading action on SB 1234 within 14 days, and that the time for reconsideration be further extended.
You've heard the motion. All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Mr. Colladin.
Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding House Rule 23A, I move that the House extend its action of Thursday, April 4th, 2024, whereby it passed the motion to reconsider its third reading action on SB 1459 within 14 days, and that the time for reconsideration be further extended.
You've heard the motion. All in favor vote aye. All opposed vote no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I move the House resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on calendar number 1.
All in favor vote aye. All opposed no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Mr. Wilmoth, you will chair if you're in the chamber.
Committee of the Whole is now called to order. Without objection, all amendments which have been filed will not be read in full. Before we get to the first bill, Senate Bill 1064 is retained on calendar, so the clerk will read the next bill on the calendar, Senate Bill 1403.
And Mr. Chairman, the Committee on Land, Act, and Rural Affairs has under consideration SB 1403 and respectfully recommends the bill do pass.
Thank you. The chair will call on Representative Diaz.
Mr. Chair, I move that when the Committee of the Whole rises to report, it recommends that House Bill or Senate Bill 1403 receive a due pass.
Thank you, sir. Any explanations?
No.
Okay. Mr. Montenegro, you are recognized to move the floor amendment.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I move that my floor amendment to Senate Bill 1403 be adopted.
Thank you, sir. Any explanation?
Just some clarifying language.
Thank you, sir. The motion before you is shall the floor amendment to Senate Bill 1403 be adopted? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Please, ayes have it, do have it. So ordered. Mr. Diaz, move the bill as amended.
Mr. Chair, I move that Senate Bill 1403 as amended receive a due pass.
Thank you, sir. The question before you is shall the amended version of Senate Bill 1403 receive a due pass recommendation? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Please, guys have it, do have it so ordered without objection. Senate Bills 1415 and Senate Bill 1458 will be retained on calendar. Final item on the calendar, Senate Bill 1665.
Mr. Chairman, your Committee on Government has under consideration SB 1665 and respectfully recommends the bill do pass.
Thank you, sir, very much. Representative Dunn, you are recognized. Representative Gillette, you're recognized. We'll get somebody. Sir, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll take that one. Mr. Chair, when the Committee of the Whole rises to report, Senate bills, I recommend Senate Bill 1665 do pass.
Thank you, sir. Move your amendment, please.
Yes, I have a floor amendment to the bill, and I recommend that floor amendment be adopted.
Close enough, sir. Any explanation?
The floor amendment just cleans up language on what the approved vendor for cities and towns would be. It's their language. It just ensures that the vendor has the proper credentials to do the inspection.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. The question before you shall the floor amendment to Senate Bill 1665 be adopted. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Please, ayes have it, do have it so ordered. Mr. Gillette, move the bill as amended, please.
I move that when 1665 as amended be adopted.
Thank you, sir. The question before the House is how the amended version of 1665 be receive a due pass recommendation. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Please, ayes have it, do have it so ordered. Mr. Speaker, hello. You are recognized. Rise and report.
Mr. Chairman, I move the Committee of the Whole rise and report.
Thank you, sir. The question before you shall the Committee of the Whole rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Please, ayes have it, do have it so ordered.
House will come to order. The clerk will read the report.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, the Committee of the Whole recommends that SB 1064 be retained on the calendar, SB 1403 do pass as amended, 1415 be retained on the calendar, 1458 be retained on the calendar, SB 1665 do pass as amended.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I move the report of the Committee of the Whole be adopted and that the bills be properly assigned.
Heard the motion. All in favor vote aye. All opposed vote no. Ayes have it. So ordered. Senate Bills 1403, 1665 as amended referred to engrossing. Senate Bills 1064, 1415, and 1458 are retained on the calendar. Third reading of bills. Senate Bill 1335.
Senate Bill 1335, amending sections 9403, 2818, 14 ARS relating to municipal real property.
That's the third read of Senate Bill 1335. Vote at the bell. Gruss, aye. Lupe Contreras, how do you vote? Toma votes aye. Lupe Contreras, are you in the chamber? Lupe Contreras votes aye. Clerk, record the vote. 60 ayes. You have passed Senate Bill 1335, signed in open session. Clerk's instructed to record the action of the House, convey the bill back to the Senate. Senate Bill 1473.
Senate Bill 1473, amending Title 41, Chapter 7, Article 10.1 ARS by adding Section 411279.08 relating to the Auditor General.
That's the third reading of Senate Bill 1473. Vote at the bell. Have you all voted? Carbone, Montenegro, how do you vote? Clerk, record the vote. 31 ayes, 29 noes. You've passed Senate Bill 1473, signed in open session. Clerk's instructed to record the action of the House, convey the bill to the Senate. Senate Bill 1683.
Senate Bill 1683, amending Title 13, Chapter 38, Article 6 IRS by adding Section 133875.01 relating to peace officer authority.
That's the third read of Senate Bill 1683. Vote at the bell. Have you all voted? Please vote. Cavero, Aguilar, Cook. Cook, Speaker Toma, Jackie Parker, how do you vote? Boy. Clerk, record the vote. 60 ayes, 0 noes. You've passed Senate Bill 1683. Signed in open session. Clerk's instructed to record the action of the House, convey the bill back to the Senate. Points of personal privilege. Any guests we missed? Representative Stahl Hamilton.
Pro Tem, I rise to make a motion. I move that a temporary rule be adopted effective until the end of the 56th legislature, second regular session, that notwithstanding any other House rule or committee assignments, House Bill 2677 be placed under the order of business, third reading of bills, and be brought for third reading immediately.
I've had a point of order called. Who has the point of order? Please stand. Representative Jacqueline Parker, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, Representative Stahl Hamilton's motion is out of order. It violates Rule 31, which basically says that for the entire 56th legislative session, only the Speaker can make that motion, or he has to approve the change. We know the Speaker does not approve the change, and so this motion shouldn't even be entertained. The language of the rule is very clear. It really can't be interpreted any other way.
Ms. Parker. Ms. Stahl Hamilton, did you finish your motion?
I did not, Mr. Speaker.
What were the last few words of your motion, just so I can hear it?
Yes. Third reading of bills be brought for third reading immediately, and if the measure garners the requisite 31 votes, the Speaker or the Speaker pro tempore is directed to immediately sign the measure in open session, and the clerk is directed to immediately transmit the measure to the Senate, and I request a roll call vote.
Right. A point of order, I heard the second. A point of order has been called. Please give me a moment to review my rules. And Ms. Stahl Hamilton, would you please approach? And Ms. Parker, would you please approach as well? Thank you. Members, a point of order has been called on the motion provided by Ms. Stahl Hamilton. The point of order was that Rule 31, suspension or amendment of the rules. The House rules may be amended upon vote of the majority of the members of the House and must include the Speaker of the House in that majority. B states the House rules may be suspended upon vote of a majority of the members of the House and must include the Speaker of the House in that majority. Mr. Speaker, to put you on the spot, how do you vote on her motion?
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I vote no.
The Speaker votes no. The ruling of the chair is that Ms. Parker's point of order is in order, and I sustain that. The ruling of the chair has been appealed, and a roll call vote has been requested. Please allow our clerks to prepare that question. Members, if we could ask that you go to your desk. The Sergeant at Arms is ensuring that all members who were on the House floor when the motion was made will be at their desks. Please go to your desks. Everybody out of the lounge and to your desks. Thank you. Members, a roll call vote has been requested. Each side will be given 3 minutes to speak on the appeal of my ruling. The noes will speak first. The affirmatives will speak second. That is standard practice. You will each have 3 minutes. It is my understanding Speaker Toma will speak on behalf of the noes, as he voted no. Assistant Minority Leader De Los Santos will speak on behalf of the ayes. Is that correct, Mr. De Los Santos? Very good. A roll call vote has been requested. Please vote at the bell. Speaker Toma.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, the last thing we should be doing today...
Please proceed with your vote explanation.
Thank you. The last thing we should be doing today is rushing a bill through the legislative process to repeal a law that has been enacted and reaffirmed by the legislature several times. The pre-law law, just a few points on that, was affirmed by the legislature in 2022. It was signed by Democrat Governor Castro in the 70s. It is still being litigated in court. The courts have not even had an opportunity to determine if the pre-row law is constitutional. Last week, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle engaged in extremism and in childish behavior on the House floor. I will not tolerate that kind of behavior in this chamber. It is my duty to ensure that decorum is observed and respected. Abortion is a very complicated topic. It is ethically, morally complex. I understand that we have deeply held beliefs, and I would ask everyone in this chamber to respect the fact that some of us believe that abortion is in fact the murder of children. It is not okay to shout at each other. It is not okay to engage in the kind of behavior that I saw on this floor last week. Further, shortchanging and bringing this bill directly to the floor also cuts out the ability of the public to have their voice heard in committee meetings. For all those reasons, I would ask that this body vote no. I vote no.
Toma votes no. Have you all voted? Assistant Minority Leader De Los Santos.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I rise to explain my vote.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I am rising to explain my vote here and to urge members to vote yes to appeal the ruling of the chair for the simple reason that the ruling of the chair is incorrect. The motion that my colleague made is very clear that it notwithstands any other House rule. And under the Arizona State Constitution, 31 members of this body are required to adopt a temporary rule, which is exactly what we are doing. This body is exercising its constitutional authority to adopt a temporary rule and to notwithstand other rules in order for us to take a vote on an incredibly important issue. This issue is very simple. Do we support or do we oppose an 1864 territorial abortion ban that includes no exceptions for rape, no exceptions for incest?
Point of order has been called. One point of order, please, at a time. Please pause. Your time is being paused. Who has a point of order? Mr. Gillette, you have a point of order. Mr. Gillette, would you like to withdraw, or do you have a
I'll
point of
withdraw
order?
the point of order.
Please continue, Mr. De Los Santos. Your time is running again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. We heard the speaker mention that we shouldn't be rushing this process. Members, we have had since 1864 to repeal this abhorrent law. And for the past 6 years, Democrats have introduced this bill. Democrats have introduced this bill for 6 years and been ignored, every single one of them, including this one. We had the opportunity to hear this in regular committee. We were ignored. We had the opportunity to hear this last week. We were ignored. We are the representatives of the people, and the people want this repealed. It is time to have a vote. It is time to repeal this abhorrent 1864 abortion ban. For that reason, I vote aye, and I urge other members to vote aye.
De Los Santos votes aye. Thank you. Lydia Hernandez, Melody Hernandez, Alex Colladin, Timothy Dunn, Matt Gress. How do you vote? Clerk, record the vote. 30 ayes, 30 nays. The ruling of the chair is upheld. Any other points of personal privilege? Representative Alma Hernandez.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I move that a temporary rule be adopted effective until the end of the 56th Legislature's second regular session, that notwithstanding with any other House rule or committee assignments, House Bill 2677 be placed under the order of business, third reading of bills, and be brought for the third reading immediately. And if the measure garners the requisite 31 votes, the Speaker or the Speaker Pro Tempore is directed to immediately sign the measure in open session, and the clerk is directed to immediately transmit the measure to the Senate, and I request a roll call vote.
Ms. Parker, I heard you first. I'm assuming you have the same point of order. Please state it.
Yes, that motion is out of order and should not be entertained because it violates Rule 31.
Ms. Hernandez, we just voted on this exact scenario, and I rule your motion out of order.
I appeal the ruling of the chair. I request a roll call vote.
Point of order, new one. I have a new point of order.
A motion has been made, which is identical to the previous motion. A point of order has been called, which is identical to the previous point of order. That motion to appeal my ruling failed because it failed to garner a majority of the votes in this chamber. I am now ruling that this is dilatory and that we're not going to undertake that subject again. That's my ruling.
I appeal that ruling and I request a roll call vote.
You have a point of order, Ms. Parker.
Yes, according to Rule 21, no dilatory motion shall be entertained by the Speaker or the Chairman. So we've already entertained this too far. The appeal of your ruling shouldn't be entertained either because it is clearly dilatory. We literally just did this. I would say also in accordance with Rule 1B.
Please stand by. Members, please bear with us while I prepare my ruling. Members, I'm going to entertain this one more time, but we're not doing this all day long. Ms. Alma Hernandez has motioned to bring the same bill forward. Ms. Parker has point of ordered that the same rule is in violation. I am ruling the same. My ruling is being appealed. I find this also dilatory. I will not recognize any speakers following this roll call vote again. We're putting the question on the board. Each side gets 3 minutes. Clerk, please prepare the vote. Members, the roll call vote that's been requested is on whether or not my ruling that Alma Hernandez's motion was dilatory is in the affirmative or not. The affirmatives will speak last, as last time. A yes vote will uphold my ruling. Correction. The question, as it will be written, will be, should the chair's ruling that Ms. Hernandez's motion is dilatory be overturned? A yes vote will have the effect of overturning my ruling. A no vote will uphold it. Please vote at the bell. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I rise to explain my vote.
Please proceed.
I think there's some confusion.
Mr. Speaker, you can speak or you can pause. It's up to you. Members, please keep your voice down while we determine if the ruling of the chair is being properly represented on the screen. If we have to vote it again, we will. Please hold your comments and your screams and your energy. Please vote. Mr. Toma, Speaker Toma, you have 3 minutes. Members, composure. Mr. Toma.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I'm not going to take 3 minutes. I've already given the points that are relevant to this. We have a process. That process should be respected. It is not being respected. I'm not going to repeat myself. I vote no.
Toma votes no. Representative Alma Hernandez, you have 3 minutes.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, with all due respect, yes, we do have a process, but that process is broken constantly in this chamber. Every time something that someone wants to do, we vote to change the rules to have it done. So I don't understand why, specifically on this, we have to follow the process that we're being told we have to follow when there are many occasions over the years, in the last 6 years that I have served here, that the rules change constantly to appease whatever it is that someone wants to do. So with all due respect, I reject that. According to what is being said, I do believe that it's important for us to have these discussions. We've had opportunities, and unfortunately, we do go through the right process of getting bills into the hopper. We get people to sponsor, and then our bills don't get heard by the majority. As someone who does get my bills heard, I have a lot of colleagues, unfortunately, that don't get their bills heard, and I am frustrated because things of this nature that are very important and critical to Arizonans need to be heard and discussed. We're talking about a bill that was passed before Arizona was even a state, before women had the right to vote, or many rights at that point, from the 1800s, and this is what we are arguing about right now, whether or not we should overturn something that is archaic, something that is going to really impact women in Arizona, and yet we want to talk about a process, or the right process. I want to make sure that the audience and people who are watching today understand that yes, we can change rules at any point to be able to bring things like this up for a vote. It's not us who are in the way of doing that, but the majority. And as stated, this bill had already been introduced. It could have been heard in the Health Committee. It could have been heard in any other committee, because I'll tell you, there are times where bills are assigned to committees that have no business in that committee, just because they know they can get around the process. So if we want to talk about process, great. We are doing what many times is done in this chamber in order to give people in Arizona, especially women, the right to be able to make their own decisions. And I'm still really disheartened that we're even having this conversation about whether or not we should even have these conversations on the floor.
30 seconds.
There are so many people who are watching right now and watching what Arizona is doing. The fact that we will not even entertain a motion to allow those who have been raped or pregnant by incest to be able to have an abortion
10 seconds.
Is extremely, extremely disappointing. And with that, I vote aye. Thank you.
Alma Hernandez votes aye. The motion to overrule my ruling fails. Without objection, the House stands at recess.